what's up? Welcome to part 2 of our Chase to Loose Legs tutorial. Before I start, I just wanted to remind you that next week on April 6th, I'm going to be opening enrollment to my online course at house-dance.com. I'm going to be talking about that at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. All right, so last week we went over the chase, this move right here, and a couple of variations. Now, if you missed out on that tutorial, just go ahead and check the description for part 1. And for part 2, we're going to be evolving the chase into the loose legs, all right? So if you've already learned the chase, you're pretty much halfway through learning the loose legs. The only thing you need to learn now is how to do the heel step and how to implement it into the movement. All right, so the heel step goes like this, all right? Most people already know the heel step. It's usually the first move they learn when learning house dance. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just gonna go over it again, okay? Like really fast. All right, so all you gotta do, for me, I strike down onto my heel, downwards, on the downwards motion. We're gonna start with this leg first, okay? So we're gonna go down like that, and we're gonna go one and. We're gonna bring it back on the end count, okay? So we're gonna go one and. Now before you put out the other foot, this foot has to be back, okay? So it's gonna go one and then two and. Now every time you put your heel out, your foot out, you wanna move your hip so that you balance out the other side. So like this, okay? So you wanna go one and, two and, three and, four and, okay? So it's one and, two and, three and, four and. Make sure to bring that foot back. Don't do it in a way that you're putting the foot back as the other one is going out, like this. Make sure it's fully back before you start with the other leg, okay? And move your hips. All right, so now that we have that, we're gonna put that together with the chase, okay? So to do that, we're gonna do what we did in the last tutorial where we put our foot out, put our leg out, and then we're gonna step back with this foot, okay? Like that. In the last tutorial, we crossed over, but instead of crossing over, we're gonna do a heel step with this foot right here while crossing over, okay? So we're gonna go one and then make sure to pivot that back foot while you're doing this too, but you're going to heel step like that, okay? So heel step to the front. So you're gonna go one and two and. Now this is different from other versions of the loose legs that I taught, because in past versions I would just have you step into that, but now you're pivoting before the step, okay? So you're smoothly pivoting before the step. So every part of this movement is now smoother, okay? So you're going like this now instead of just step, heel step, okay? All right, so let's try it again. Make sure that you step diagonally while pivoting this back foot, okay? So you're gonna pivot, step, and then heel step with the front with a slight cross, okay? Like cross your leg behind, okay? Like that. And make sure this back foot is pivoting to the front, like this. One and two and. All right, make sure that pivot is there. So there's a lot of pivoting in the loose legs, all right? So let's get started again. 5, 6, 7, 8. One and two and. All right? Make sure to do the full movement of that heel step, okay? Typically, what a lot of people do, and I've done this before, is they separate the movement into like a heel, then bring it down. But I like to always dance it out whenever I do that heel step so that it doesn't look choppy, all right? So let's start again. 5, 6, 7, 8. One and two and. All right? Now from there, you're gonna step over with the other foot, all right? And then this leg, this foot is gonna pivot back. And then 3, and 4, and. All right? Always do the heel step, all right? All right, so let's start again with the first leg. We're gonna go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? And then you keep going from there, all right? So after that, you're gonna start with this leg again, all right? So let's start from the top. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and. Now a couple of things I like to emphasize. When I'm doing this movement slowly, I like to emphasize on the knee lifts of the movement. Meaning when I do the chase part, I like to emphasize when I'm lifting my knee. I like to exaggerate that when I'm doing the movement slower. So I like to go 1 and then for the heel step, I like to lift and exaggerate that movement too. Lift my knee and then down to the ground. So I like to go 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and. All right, so notice that I'm bringing my knee higher. When you start doing the movement faster, your knees aren't gonna go as high, but you wanna keep that same kind of feel, that same kind of movement in your step, even if you're not doing the move slowly. All right, so let's try the loose legs one more time. Here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 6 and 7 and 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and. All right, so we just learned the loose legs. Now, this movement right here, okay, that I just call the loose legs, some people still consider that the chase, depending on who you ask. So this could be the chase, but the next move we're gonna learn right now is definitely the loose legs, all right? And you'll see why. All right, so let's get started. We're gonna do the exact same thing pretty much, but we're gonna add extra movements into the loose legs, okay? So we're gonna do the loose legs that we just learned, but we're gonna add this move, like this kind of movement into it, all right? Hence why it's called the loose legs. So we're gonna go out, in, out, in, out, in during this movement right here. Now here's where you put that out in, okay? So when you step out, that's where you put this movement, the out. Now where you step in, or you put the knees in, is when you step behind, okay? So you're gonna go out during the step out, and then the next step over there, where you step back, that's where you go in. And then after that, you heel step. So you go out, in, heel step. So out, in, heel step. All right? So just remember that the in part goes during this step right here, this step. So after the pivot and the step goes with an inward knee movement. All right? So you're gonna go 1 and 2 and. Now for me, I like to do this movement smoothly. So I like to implement it into my movements already instead of going over it like really choppy and slow. All right? But you may have to do that in the beginning, but strive to start putting this into your loose legs in a smooth manner, okay? So remember, step out, put your knees out. When you step back, put your knees in, and then heel step. And then you're gonna do the same on the other side. So step out with your knees out, step out in the back with your knees in, so like this, and then heel step. And then you're gonna do it again, okay? You're gonna step out, in, heel step, 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 out, in, heel step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So just to recap, we're just doing the regular loose legs and adding this movement in it. And where that movement goes, when you step out to the front, you go out with your knees. When you step out in the back, you go in with your knees. So it's gonna go 1 end and then heel step, 2 end, just regular heel step, okay? And then out, in, heel step, out, in, heel step, out, in, heel step, out, in, heel step, out, in, heel step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and. All right, and that is your loose legs variation. We got one more. All right, so for our third loose legs variation, we're gonna add a tap somewhere in there in the loose legs, all right? So remember last week, we did the chase into this drop and then tap, this right here. So we're gonna do that with the loose legs. We're gonna add that tap in the back, and knowing that we already have the heel step somewhere in there, it's gonna make it more difficult. So it's gonna be a really intricate, fast move, all right? So let's start from the loose legs. We're gonna do a basic loose legs, like meaning the first loose legs without the squiggly legs, okay? All right, so start off with the loose legs, step back. After the heel step, okay, after the heel part of the heel step, instead of bringing it back like this, we're going to drop into the movement, okay? Dropping into the movement is gonna let us go faster than bringing it back, okay? So we're gonna go 1 and 2, and then in the back on your toe, you're gonna tap, on the count, okay? So the counts are gonna go 1 and 2 and a, 3 and 4 and a, okay? So between the end count and the full count, there's gonna be an okay? There's gonna be an in there where you're gonna tap with your toe. So you're gonna go 1 and 2 and a, okay? 1 and 2 and a, and then 3 and 4 and all right? So remember, to be faster when bringing your heel back, just drop it down, okay? And then tap before you start with the next part of the loose legs, all right? So let's start again. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and All right, so I'm sure that's giving you quite a challenge because there's a lot of rhythms that we're playing with there. All right. So I'll show you from the side so that you can see where the taps are going. All right, here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, and So a little tip, if you want to be faster in your movement, keep them small, okay? So This movement, the last loose legs variation, you don't really want to step out super far when doing this. You want to keep your movement small, okay? So you want to go here. All right? And listen to the rhythm of your feet. All right? Eventually, it's going to sound like what it's supposed to sound like. All right, and that is your chase to loose legs progression. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for an announcement about my online course. See you there. Hey, what's up? It's me, Jardy, and it's that time of the year again. On April 6th, I'm going to be opening enrollment for my online course at house-dance.com. Now, typically, I only open enrollment twice a year, and each season, I limit the number of new students to 50 new students. So, if you don't want to miss out and you want to stay informed, sign up to my mailing list, and you can do that by going to jardysantiago.com. Also, if you've already browsed through my website and you still have questions, you can always email me directly at jardysantiago@gmail.com. I'm really excited for the new season and I hope to see you there. All right, talk to you soon. Peace.